Thank you for clicking on this Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more video. I'm Martin Prevost, and it occurred to me a couple days ago that 1999 was 25 years ago, which seems weird. Like, how did that just occur to me? I don't think in those contexts. Um, like I was 12 years old in 1999, but 1999 was a formative year for me in movies because other than the fact a lot of great movies came out that year, it's the first year I started really going to the movies. Um, my dad would have us every other weekend, and me and my brother liked movies. So 1999 is when he started taking us to see movies to fill some of the hours of him uh, spending time with us. Not that, we cared. We liked it. We liked the time we spent with him in the theaters. So I've compiled a bunch of the 1999 movies that I loved that influenced my life, whether it was there in that year or having seen them after. I'm gonna mark the ones. I'll tell you the ones I got to see in theaters that are in this pile. I've got about 17 movies because I made one other caveat. I had to have a VHS copy of it. If I didn't have it on VHS, I couldn't talk about it. Just because I thought it'd be more fun. I know I have everything that was on my list over here on my Blu-ray shelves, but I decided VHS was the way I wanted to display things, and I'm going to do them in order of release. I won't go over the release date, but this is just going to be the order they came out, and I might have seen them. The first movie on the pile isn't one I got to see in theaters. Wish I would have, but it just predated me going to the theaters with my dad and my brother on a more regular basis by 2 weeks. So it was probably in theaters when we started. It's just not one I got to see, and that was The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser. This is an epic movie. I love it. I think I saw it on VHS. I rented it from my local video store pretty much when it came out on video. Threw the tape into my player, and I just fell in love with this movie. This is such a great movie. It is so much fun. I like The Mummy, like the original Boris Karloff Mummy, and I think this and its sequel, The Mummy Returns, which I did get to go see in theaters. That one I did see in theaters. This one I didn't get the chance, and I haven't gone to any of the re-releases it's had. But I love The Mummy. The Mummy is an amazing film. Not quite top 100, but it's up there. It would be up there in a full list of my all-time favorite movies. The Mummy would be up there. It is such a good movie, and I've always loved it. Now, the next movie I'm going to talk about actually is the first movie that started this trend of my dad taking me and my brother to the theaters. Up until that point, I'd only seen Pocahontas and Hocus Pocus in theaters. That's it. I was 12 years old. And Santa Claus, and the Santa Claus. I had seen three movies in the first 12 years of my life in a theater. The next 12 years, I probably saw like 100. It's weird. I still try to see movies in theaters whenever I can. Because I love the experience. I love the experience of just being able to sit in a movie theater. And the first movie that kicked that off, the big push of me seeing so many movies in theaters, including weird ones. I love seeing weird movies. This isn't a weird movie. This was a huge movie. It is Star Wars Episode 1. Yep, this is the first movie my dad, me, and my brother went to go see in theaters. Um, it was this little theater, and most of these movies I saw, except I think one. I think out of all of them I'm about to talk about that I saw in theaters, only one of them I did not go see in a theater that is in Marinette, Wisconsin. It's still there, and it still looks very similar. At least it did 3 years ago when I went on a memories trip with a friend and saw a movie in it. And those theaters, it's still like the hallway, everything looks very similar. But this is the first movie we went to go see. It was Star Wars Episode 1. It was a packed theater, opening weekend. Maybe it was the second weekend. It was early. It was packed. Um, you sat in those uncomfortable seats, ate that popcorn. Oh, it was something. It was something, and you got to see Star Wars on the big screen. The pod racing scene, everything about it. It was so good. It was so much fun. Um, just holding this, this is the version This is the version I owned when I got it on VHS. This isn't the exact version. This is the version that was bought for me. Was the widescreen video collector's edition. So when I came across this, I had to put it back in my VHS collection because this is the one. This is what started my dad taking me to see so many movies, and I got to see such great movies and some decent movies. But this is what started it, was Star Wars Episode 1. Um, yeah, we'd end up seeing Attack of the Clones as a group. Revenge of the Sith I ended up seeing with friends because I had outgrown just the weekend trips to the theaters with my dad. I had outgrown it long before then. At some point in like 2003, it just became me. I wasn't even with my dad or my brother. It was just me. I was going to the theaters on those weekends by myself. My dad would like drop me off because I didn't have a car yet. Um, and then either I'd walk back to his house because he had now moved close enough, or um, yeah, or I'd walk. Um, yeah, Star Wars is what started it, and it was so much fun watching this on the big screen. Like a lot of people give crap to these original trilogies, especially this one, but I loved it. It's an experience I'll never forget, and I will always remember enjoying this movie because I got to sit in that theater. Next up is a movie I don't know. I don't know why I went and saw this one in theaters. Don't regret it. Hindsight, don't regret it. But I had only seen it's a sequel. I'd only seen the first one once, and I didn't care for it. Now I really enjoy all of these movies, but I didn't care for it that much. It was just my brother really wanted to go see it, and so we went and saw it. And that is Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Yep, I saw this one in theaters, and again, I didn't really care for the first one at this point. I didn't understand it. I was too young to get Austin Powers. But apparently, when I was like 10 when the first one came out because it would have been 2 years before, 10 or 11. At 12, apparently, I got it. I got Austin Powers. I understood why people like these movies, and I enjoyed it. It was another great experience. I remember getting like the specialty popcorn bucket that had the Austin Powers crap on it because it had just been long enough since Star Wars came out. Even though this was like a month later, it wasn't that long that we just went, let's go see another movie. And so Austin Powers was the winner. It was the second movie in that line, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Next up is one. Again, I was 12. I want to point this out. I was 12. So you're gonna think my brother wanted to see this movie because he's 5 years older than me. That would make him 17 at the time. So you'd go, he probably wanted to see this movie. He was 17. I was the one pushing to see this movie, and we didn't see this one in Marinette. We ended up in Green Bay at Bay Park. Um, this is one of the first movies I saw at Bay Park. At the Bay Park Cinema in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is the theater I go to the most. This is one of the first movies I ever sat and watched in one of their screens that I remember because I don't remember what theater I saw Pocahontas in, and I know I saw Hocus Pocus in a budget, and Santa Claus was in a downtown theater that I think was in De Pere. I could be wrong. But the first movie I saw in Bay Park, or one of the first movies I saw in Bay Park, was South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. That's right. My 17-year-old brother was, I guess we can go see the South Park movie. 12-year-old Martin went, yes, yes, let's see this. I want to see this. I'm not sure I was the target audience. But again, Star Wars, Austin Powers, these are PG-13 movies. This is an R. This is my dad going, I guess we can go see an R-rated movie because my parents didn't care. Yeah. So I got to see South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut on the big screen. It was a lot of fun. I want to say this isn't going to be the smallest audience. I don't remember there being a lot of people in the theater when we saw this, but but I could be wrong. There could have been more. I don't remember, but I know this isn't the smallest. I have that one in my stack, which was the smallest out, and we saw it opening night. We saw it the Friday it released, but we'll get to that one in a little bit. But South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. It was just so much fun. Getting to sit there and watch this movie again, like with my dad, with my brother on the big screen, and just really enjoy this movie. I just opened up a document I have that tells me other movies. I lied. I had seen 5 movies, 7 movies technically. So I had also seen See Spot Run and Drive Me Crazy by this point. Um, Somehow this was on the list of movies that it came out in 1999. I have it in the wrong. I have it way lower on this list of when I saw movies in the 90s, and I don't quite understand it. I I have it way lower, but it came out in 99, and that was its release date. Would have put it right there in the timeline, but it's telling me I saw it far later in theaters. But I know I saw it in theaters. Next up is Wild Wild West. This is the only one in this set that I got to see in theaters that my mother took me and my brother to see because we really wanted to see Wild Wild West. We were on vacation, and she decided, why not? And she took me and my brother to go see it. It was so much fun. Again, because it's just a stupidly fun movie. And I hold a lot of good thoughts for this film in my mind because it was just so much fun to see Wild Wild West um, on the big screen. I really enjoyed it. That would lead to her taking us the next year to go see um, Men in Black 2, also on the big screen, which was a lot of fun. It was a good bonding moment to get to go see um, those movies. Now we're gonna go back to Marinette because the Marinette Theater kind of got lost in the shuffle here because 2 Bay parks. But going back to Marinette, I then got to see Mystery Men. Um, this one was so much fun. I'm glad. I'm glad I got to see this one in theaters because it's not a movie people talk about a lot. I love Mystery Men. This is the first of my top 100 favorite movies to be brought up here. There are others in this pile, but I love Mystery Men. It is one of my favorite comic book movies. It is just such a fun movie. I enjoy getting to revisit it whenever I get to, and I am so glad I got to sit down and see it on the big screen. Um, because it was just it's just such a great movie. Definitely check out Mystery Men. This is a weird video. Next up is one I didn't get to see in theaters, but I just had a long list of ones I saw in theaters. This one I did not get to see, and I kind of wish I did because and I don't know how I didn't see this one in theaters. Because at the time I was a huge fan of one of these actors, and you think I would have wanted to go see any movie I could have seen him in theaters, but for some reason I missed out on Bowfinger. I didn't get to go see Bowfinger in theaters. I do really enjoy Bowfinger. This is another one of my top 100 favorite movies. 1999 has the most for a single year in my top 100. That's why, like, I was thinking back on it, going, yeah, 99. It was a great year for film. And Bowfinger is one of those I wish I gotten to go see. I love Steve Martin. I love Eddie Murphy. This is a great movie. It's one I didn't get to go see in theaters, but it's a great movie from 1999. Definitely watch Bowfinger. It's so good, and it's just such a fun time. Now, um, probably one of the weirdest movies I got to see in theaters. Just because it couldn't have been out in theaters for more than like 3 weeks. And me and my brother saw the trailers, saw ads for it, and went, we need to see this. It was a weekend with my dad. He took us on that Friday night. It was me, my brother, my dad, and 2 other people. That was it in this theater for a Friday night opening. It it didn't. You looked at the audience, and I've learned not to look at audiences. This is the experience of me learning. Doesn't matter how many people are seeing a movie. It doesn't tell you if it's good or bad. Because I so enjoyed this movie that although it's not in my top 100, it would make my top 200, and that's Detroit Rock City. Actually, I was watching this the other day, and that's what made me think of doing this video. Is because I went, man, Detroit Rock City was so good. It was 1999. It was one of the. It was in that like era. I was just starting to go to see movies in theaters, and this was it. This is the first like really weird movie that didn't do well. It bombed miserably. It was in and out of theaters, and I got to see it. And that's something, yeah, I'll remember for the rest of my life is that I went and saw this weird ass movie in theaters. Um, my dad paid for tickets, bought us popcorn, and we sat in that theater. And me and my brother enjoyed this movie so much. Every time I rewatch it, I always enjoy it. Detroit Rock City is awesome. Then another weird one I got to see in theaters is Three Kings. Um, yeah, this is another one. The ads just made me go, "Oh, Three Kings. It looks interesting." That is not high enough to just set them down. Um, George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube in a war movie. Why not? It was fun. I enjoy it. If you've never seen it, let me know. I can do bigger reviews on these movies and kind of go into what they are, so you get an idea of what these movies are. If you have no idea, let me know in the comments. Say it in the comments. Three Kings. It was so much fun. I'm glad I got to experience that one, because it's one I might not have seen if I didn't go to the theaters, and therefore I wouldn't go back to it and watch it again. Because that's definitely one of those movies that's lost to the ethos. I feel like that one, Detroit Rock City, are definitely movies that nobody thinks of anymore. Maybe Bowfinger might be on that list as well. I probably have at least one more super obscure one yet to come. Next one, again, didn't get to see this one in theaters, but it's a great movie, and that is Fight Club. It came out in '99. I don't know how I missed again. This one because this was a bigger one. Like it had a way more advertising. I'm just gonna go with it didn't in the advertising didn't interest me or my brother, so we never saw Fight Club in theaters. But it's a great movie. I love Fight Club, and it was released in '99, and I have it on VHS. Next is this one might rival Detroit Rock City for obscure ass movies I saw in theaters. This one technically I didn't see in 1999. It came out in 1999. I saw it early January because that's when my birthday is. I saw it early January. Um, Although for some reason the list I was using says it came out in October, but I know for a fact I didn't see it until January. So it might have had a earlier release in October, but it didn't get its wide release until like December. Because again, I saw it in January. I remember, like, we were like, oh, if we can't go see this, we'll have to go see Man on the Moon, which I think is also R rated. So I'm not 100% sure what 12 to 13-year-old Martin and his friends were thinking when when we were looking at this movie. But it's Bats. That's right, Bats. This is a movie. This is a movie. It's called Bats. I think I do have a longer review on this one somewhere on the channel. Um, it stars Lou Diamond Phillips and Dina Meyer and Leon. That's the actor's name. His name is just Leon. I know him from this in The Temptations. Um, it's a weird movie, but I watched the ads. I saw them because I watched WWE Raw every Monday night. They'd run like two spots for this movie every week. I'm like, I gotta go see this. I gotta go see this in theaters. This looks so good. I need to go see this in theaters. I like this movie. It's not gonna rank highly on any list of favorites, but I like this movie. And the fact, much like Detroit Rock City, that I get to point to this and go, I saw that in theaters. It's just weird. And it's so much fun. Check out Bats. Bats. It is a lot of freaking fun. I think VHS and DVD are the only formats this thing's available on. I don't think it has a Blu-ray release. If it does, I'd have it. I'm almost certain it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Look, John, I saw basketball. I saw Batman. This would no, this one might go after Batman because the S at the end. Oh no, no, no. There's no. I go Batman to Battle Royale. So yeah, this DVD is gonna be your friend on this one, but it's Bats. It's fun. Another one in my top 100. I got two in a row for my top 100, neither of which I've got to go see in theaters. And that is House on Haunted Hill, which I really wanted to go see in theaters. And that just didn't pan out that we got to go see it. I don't know why. Like, again, I can't remember back to what we saw that would have, like, trumped this. Even if I look at my list, which is just my 1990s section is bad. It's bad on this list. I was taking it off of old ticket stubs. Those ticket stubs, not accurate. Not accurate. Not in the right order. Um, yeah, House on Haunted Hill, top 100 movie, my 100th movie. This is in the top 100 at like 99 or 100. It's down there, but I love this version of House on Haunted Hill, which I got to see it in theaters. Also, Dogma, great movie. Love this movie. I don't think it was in a Wisconsin theater, so I couldn't have seen it in theaters. But at that point, I was into Kevin Smith by the time Dogma came out. I had seen Clerks, I had seen Mallrats, so I probably would have wanted to go see Dogma. But neither of these, both of these are top 100 movies. Just didn't get a chance to see either of them, which is sad because it would have been really fun. Would have been really fun. Next up is a movie I got two more. I didn't realize I had four in a row that I didn't go to theaters to see. Um, I was going through these in release order, but I'm gonna switch this up a little bit, and I'm gonna go through the next one I didn't actually see in theaters, and that isn't in my top 100. And then I'm gonna double back because I have an actual story for the other one. The World Is Not Enough. There was a James Bond movie that released in '99. I like Pierce Brosnan. Don't mind this movie. It was fun. That's it. That's all I got for that one. Um, Now one I didn't see in theaters, and I don't know why, because I really wanted to see it. If nothing else, there's a very specific poster for it. I have nowhere to display it. I wouldn't know if I found a copy of it today where I'd put it, but I want it just because it hung in that theater in Marinette above the ticket stand because it was an open concept. You walk in, buy your tickets, walk through, and they'd have posters on the walls, and every once in a while they'd have a banner poster would hang above it. And this was a banner poster for so long. I remember seeing it so often. I don't know how I didn't see this movie in theaters because I do really enjoy it. It's Sleepy Hollow. Um, Kind of sad the image of that banner poster is. It's kind of on the back, but it's not big enough for me to like spin around. But it was definitely Johnny Depp with the weird goggles on his face. Um, that was the banner, and I saw it so often that like I would love if I ever found a copy of it. I'd buy it just to have it, like that memory. It's kind of burned in there, and every time I watch this movie, I think I think of that memory, that um moment. And this is a really cool case. Like I'm just looking at it in the camera, and this is a very cool case. I'm wondering, like, I don't know if the Blu-ray has the same casing, and I'd grab it. I'm just not immediately seeing it. Oh, there it is. I see it now. This is on the spine, so I'm assuming it's that on the spine of the Blu-ray. So I'm assuming this is the cover art for it as well. But yeah, that banner poster, it's just burned into my mind. But I didn't get to see this one in theaters, which is sad because it's actually a very good movie. It's a really good Tim Burton film. Next up, it's the only one of these movies I did not see in either 1999 or 2000, depending on when it came out and when the video release, theaters or video would have been. Um, the only one I didn't see in that time period. It's one I didn't see until college. So we're talking a decade ago. So it took me 15 years to get to see this movie. I didn't even realize it came out in 1999 until I was doing research for this. I think I've looked it up once before, and it's in my top 100. Not only is it in my top 100, it's in my top 10. That is Cradle Will Rock. I don't remember seeing anything on this movie. I don't remember seeing ads. I don't remember it actually like posters in theaters. Um, I don't know if 12-year-old Martin would have looked at this and went, "Man, I need to see that." I mean, even 24-year-old Martin, 27, sorry, 27-year-old Martin, when he was in college, that doesn't track. I went to college way sooner than that. This is not just a decade ago. This is, oh, wow, 15 years? I would have been 22, 22-year-old Martin? So yeah, 10 years. Took me 10 years to see this movie. That makes a lot more sense. Anyways, 22-year-old Martin looked at this, had to watch it for a class, and wasn't immediately going, "Oh my god, I need to see this movie." So it kind of tracks that, you know, 12-year-old Martin would have wanted to see it. This is a great movie. I love Cradle Will Rock. It's in my top 10 favorite movies. If you've never seen it, it is so worth checking out. It came out in December of '99, which could be why I passed on it. Um, Again, I just think it didn't matter. I would have passed on it no matter what as a 12-year-old, but things happen. Alas, I got only one movie left. It's in my top 100. Again, I probably didn't actually see it until early 2000 because it came out in December of '99. So I'm almost certain this tape is going to tell me it. The tape, the copyright on it is going to be 2000. Even though the movie debuted in '99. And that is Galaxy Quest. I love this movie. I loved this movie since the first time I stepped into a theater and saw it. Again, I remember the poster sitting outside of the theater when I went a few years ago with my friend to go visit this theater, and we walked up to it. That was the poster. Like when we saw the posters of, oh, this is what we have playing. The Galaxy Quest poster sitting there. It's what I remembered. Because it was the one of the ship popping out of the TV screen with Tim Allen, Alan Rickman, and Sigourney Weaver on the TV. I remember it, and it was so cool. This is a great movie. I love this movie. I'm a Star Trek fan, and this is such a good tribute to Star Trek. So yeah, so those are a bunch of the 1999 movies I really enjoyed. Were these all of the 1999 movies that came out? Absolutely not. There were so many more. Um, but these were the ones that I sat down and I really truly enjoyed, and um, and also, so many of these I got to see in theaters, which was just awesome for a kid who loved movies and didn't really go to the theater to all of a sudden get to see one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine movies in theaters. That was big. That was huge. And again, that number would only continue to increase to the point of at this recording, I'm at hundreds that I've gotten to see in theaters. Um, I have, yeah, just in a decade, the decade after, not even the decade after, the 2000s, 2000 to 2010, I didn't see a ton of movies, but 2010 to 2020, I went to see over 300 movies in theaters, almost 350 movies in theaters. And that's individual movies. That's not saying, I saw some movies multiple times, and that was just, what happened. So probably closer to 350. I'm gonna say it's closer to 350 overall in that decade. So that's a lot of movies to go see. That's 30 movies a year. Yes, 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 yes. Math. Yeah. So yeah, that was my little walk through 1999. Take a look at what came out that year. There was some other really great movies. I think Office Space was on that list. Jawbreaker, American Beauty. Like, it's some great movies. But yeah, so I'm Martin Prevost. This is Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more. If you'd like to hear me talk more about the old school movies I got to see in theaters, let me know. I'd have no problem moving forward into the 2000s and cover some of that other stuff while I was, because from 12 to 18, I saw a decent number of movies between 12 and 18 that ranged from, really good, like, some of these movies I just showed off are amazing, to who the hell chooses to see The Adventures of Pluto Nash in theaters on opening weekend? Me. I'm the guy. I'm that guy. This is the person who chooses to do that. All right. Later days.